Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Matt Mitchell Show. I'm DJ Foster, joined by Grand Valley State head football coach Matt Mitchell. As the Lakers are celebrating the 42-7 win over Tiffin last Saturday in the regular season finale at home. Mitch, you guys led 28-0 at halftime, got out to a really good start, led 42-0 early in the fourth quarter. It was senior day, and a couple of seniors, especially on offense, stepped up. Heath Parling had maybe his best game of the year overall, 17 of 32 passing, 254 yards. He threw for 4 scores. He ran for 2. The last time a Grand Valley State player had accounted for 6 touchdowns in a game was Heath against Ferris State back in 2011. And then Chris Robinson, another senior, 188 total yards. He ran for 126, caught a touchdown pass. Talk about your offense especially, and Heath and Chris Robinson as well as their big games.
Yeah, obviously, really strong performance by our offense. I think a few things you take a look at, for us internally, we didn't turn the ball over. That was key. We had didn't put the ball on the ground. Even every time we got up with the ball, we handed it to the officials. That was obviously critical there. We did a better job on our third downs. I think we're 13 of 14 our third down conversion percentage. And we're not a huge crew on time of possession, but I do think that reflects your offense's ability to execute. We had a lot of double-digit play drives where we were able to possess the ball and really convert. And we'd had no negative yardage penalties really on that side of the ball, procedural type stuff, and we also didn't have a lot of tackles for losses or sacks. So it was a more efficient performance by our offense just from an execution standpoint, and ball security and a lot of little things that you value within your offense. In regards to Heath, I thought he did a really good job of getting himself out of some. They ran some cover zero pressures, and there was a couple times that he had to make a guy miss, and since they were playing man in the back end, he was able to take off and run and get some chunk yardage. I think we threw the ball to a lot of different targets besides just our boundary receiver, Jamie Potts. We were able to get tight ends involved in the passing game. Joe Robbins, at our Z receiver, was running some stuff, and obviously some of the running backs too. We got involved on wheel routes and things like that. So able to spread the ball around, which I think helped Heath immensely. And then Chris Robinson has done a great job, even though our season is not where we want it to be, of stepping up as a senior and really, finishing, just being a finisher. He was really banged up this week, didn't practice much, and just went out and got the job done for us. And our backs, even though we weren't necessarily the greatest up front all the time, our backs made us right. I thought he ran extremely hard and well, as did Terrell Dorsey. I think it was Terrell's maybe first time over 100 yards, and if not, he did a good job just being light in his feet, and I think he's got a bright future for him ahead. Yeah,
you answered kind of my next question. You had five or six scoring drives were 11 plays, 10 plays, 15, 16, and 11. And then, as you mentioned, Joe Robbins, Brian Moran, Chris Robinson, and Joey Warner all caught touchdown passes. Was that kind of the game plan, was to spread it around a little bit, kind of go for some shorter pass plays, and then just kind of keep getting chunk yards and just put those long drives together?
Yeah, definitely. I think we were trying to find ways with our man coverage to get some other guys involved besides just throwing it to Potts. And
right.
So we were able to run some double moves and get our tight ends involved, and we had game plan heading in to try to spread the ball around a little bit more. I think we felt like outside their corners are pretty good, but some of the matchups that we had on some of the slot receivers, the tight ends, the backs, that we could potentially exploit those matchups a little bit more man-to-man coverage. So I think our offensive staff did a great job in the game plan process of trying to get the ball to some different guys in different spots of the field that maybe we typically would.
Defensively, it was a very good performance against a pretty good Tiffin offense, and Antonio Pipkin, the quarterback. Senior Deontay Hurst had 10 tackles. David Talley had 6. Everyone else had 4 or less. So a lot of guys were in there making plays. Matt Judon was obviously a force again, as he has been. And Antonio Pipkin's final numbers, 140 passing yards, 43 rushing yards. He accounted for 1 touchdown, but those numbers are well below his season average. You guys did a really good job on him. Why was that?
Yeah, well, I think the number one reason, DJ, is we weren't out there a whole lot. I mean, we were only out there on 47 plays of defense. That is less than we ran the first half last week at Ashland. So when your offense is able to stay on the field and possess the football, it helps your defense out. And their best player was on the sideline. I don't think anybody argued the best player in football team is their quarterback, and he wasn't out there, a lot. So a lot of credit has to go for our defensive performance to our offense and our special teams, because it really set the stage for us and helped us out. When we were on the field, we did a great job of being disciplined with our coverage, keeping the ball in front of us, a lot of vision break, taking good angles to the ball, limiting the yards after catch. I think when you look at that, there was not a lot of yards after catch because we were running the ball well. pursuing, and just we're fundamentally doing the things that we need to do. And then, ran enough line games, did enough with our defensive front to keep him uncomfortable back in the pocket. So he was a little bit off balance. And they ran him a lot, and he did have success in some design quarterback runs, but we never really gave up the big play, and we were good down the red zone. We really limited there. We got some stops down the red zone, which got us off the field, and really stuck to the plan. So I think we had a plan heading into this game, maybe more this game than any other game of the season. We kind of stuck to that plan. We're able to limit a very explosive offense.
All right, so Tiffin was the last home game of the 2014 season. Now you're on the road at Saginaw this weekend against the Cardinals in obviously the Battle of the Valleys. They're having a down year, to be honest. 2-8 overall, 2-7 in GLIAC play. They have home victories over Northern Michigan and Northwood, but they have not yet won on the road. And Coach, this is a team that was 9-3 last year. You gave them 2 of their 3 losses. I know certainly it's not something you're worried about, but what's the change with Saginaw? What do you see that they've been down a little bit this year?
Well, lost some talent. I mean, lost an NFL wide receiver, and in my opinion, one of the better quarterbacks that's gone through the place. I mean, Jonathan Jennings was a great quarterback. I know he had Jeff Janis to throw to, but he was a very efficient run the ball and controlling it. So lost a lot of the pieces of the puzzle offensively. They've had some turnover and change in their defensive staff, and probably getting up to speed a little bit on that. And really, I don't think their defense is that bad. Just they've been on the field a lot because their offense has been very ineffective. I think they're trying to figure out, it's taken a while to figure out who the quarterback is. They started with Keith Moore at the beginning of the season, and then, with two freshmen, one redshirt, one non-redshirt that have kind of finished things out. Looks like they've settled on Tyler Polka as their starter. And, anytime you have a redshirt freshman starting a quarterback, there's going to be growing pains. And when you don't have a lot of dynamic, threats around him, it makes it a little bit difficult too. And so they lost a lot of seniors off those teams last year, and they've just struggled to probably replace some of those guys. And I think the other thing, similar to us, their schedule's been very difficult. They've played all the heavy hitters, and a lot of those heavy hitters have been on the road. And so they were probably right there with Michigan Tech, and there were some other teams they're right there with, and just have a hard time pulling off a lot of those victories at the end of the game.
I think it goes without saying that a win over Grand Valley would certainly make their season, send them off on a good note. It's a 1 p.m. game on Saturday, again, Battle of the Valleys. What do you see from your team this week? What are you hoping for from the final game of the 2014 season?
Well, I think you hit the point on the head that this is still a rivalry game. There's a lot of kids on both teams that were a part of those games last year, and these are two institutions that have had a really storied history when it comes to competitive football games. So it'll be the same way on Saturday, and I completely agree with you. I think there's going to be a tremendous amount of motivation from Saginaw Valley, and it's been a subpar year for them, probably similar to us, but a win over Grand Valley would do a lot of good, heading into off-season as you start workouts, and also heading into the recruiting process. So they'll be extremely motivated to play this game. For us, if we can do what we did last week on offense, and I'm not just talking about the yardage and the production, I'm talking about procedural penalties, turnovers, a lot of little things that make a big difference. That'll be key, and then we've got to do a good job against them stopping the quarterback. He's their leading rusher, Tyler Polka is right now, and then obviously he's the helm throwing the ball. So we're going to have a lot of focus on him, making sure that we do a good job of making him uncomfortable and disrupt him. We got to get off the field and get the ball back to our offense, because the more stops we can get, the more opportunities our offense can get. The more we have to keep their defense on the field, I think we can have success over the course of 4 quarters.
Grand Valley State at Saginaw Valley State this Saturday afternoon, 1 p.m. in a Battle of the Valleys, final regular season game of 2014. Mitch, thanks for your time. Best of luck.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for watching the Matt Mitchell Show here on the Grand Valley Sports Network.